Black rustic kitchens are one of those ideas that sound a little risky at first, but once you really picture it, they start to make a lot of sense. Rustic style has always been about warmth, texture, and that slightly imperfect, lived-in feeling. Black, on the other hand, brings depth, drama, and a sense of confidence. When you put the two together, you get a kitchen that feels grounded, cozy, and bold all at once. It's not trying to be cute or trendy. It's strong, inviting, and full of character. A lot of people assume black kitchens will feel dark or heavy, but rustic design changes that equation completely. Rustic spaces already rely so much on natural materials like wood, stone, and metal that black becomes less about darkness and more about contrast. It highlights those textures instead of hiding them. A black rustic kitchen doesn't feel cold. It feels like a space with history, even if it's brand new. Cabinetry is usually where black rustic kitchens make their biggest statement. Black cabinets instantly set the tone, especially when they have a matte or satin finish rather than a glossy one. Matte black feels softer and more natural, which works beautifully with rustic elements. Shaker-style doors, simple paneling, or even slightly distressed finishes keep the cabinets from feeling too modern or sleek. The goal isn't perfection, it's character. What really makes black cabinets shine in a rustic kitchen is what surrounds them. Warm wood tones are essential here. Wooden countertops, open shelves, ceiling beams, or even a butcher block island bring balance and warmth. The contrast between black cabinetry and natural wood feels intentional and timeless. It's the kind of combination that gets better the more you live with it, especially as the wood ages and develops more character. Countertops play a big role in how heavy or light the kitchen feels. Lighter countertops like marble, quartz, or soapstone can keep the space from feeling too dark. Soapstone in particular works beautifully in black rustic kitchens because it has that soft, slightly worn look that fits right in with rustic style. Wood countertops are another great option, especially for islands or smaller sections, adding warmth exactly where you want it. Backsplashes in black rustic kitchens don't need to steal the show. Simple, classic choices usually work best. White or off-white subway tile adds contrast and brightness while still feeling timeless. Natural stone backsplashes bring texture and a slightly rugged feel that works perfectly with rustic design. Even exposed brick, if it fits your home, can look incredible against black cabinetry. Rustic kitchens are known for their texture, and black only makes that texture more noticeable. Rough wood beams, reclaimed wood shelves, stone walls, and even textured plaster finishes all pop against darker tones. Instead of blending into the background, these elements become part of the story of the space. The kitchen starts to feel layered, like it's been built over time rather than installed all at once. Lighting is absolutely crucial in a black rustic kitchen. Without good lighting, the space can feel gloomy instead of cozy. Warm lighting is non-negotiable. Pendant lights with metal, glass, or even wood accents work beautifully over islands or dining areas. Lantern-style fixtures feel especially at home in rustic kitchens and pair perfectly with black finishes. Under-cabinet lighting is another game-changer, adding both function and warmth. Natural light does a lot of heavy lifting too. If your kitchen has windows, letting as much light in as possible will keep the black elements from feeling overpowering. Simple window treatments, or none at all, allow the light to bounce off lighter surfaces and soften the darker areas. If natural light is limited, layering artificial light becomes even more important. Hardware is one of those small details that makes a big impact. In black rustic kitchens, hardware often leans toward iron, bronze, or aged brass finishes. These metals add warmth and a slightly vintage feel that complements rustic design beautifully. Black hardware can work too, especially if you want a more monochromatic look, but mixing metals often adds more depth and interest. Farmhouse sinks feel right at home in black rustic kitchens. A white apron front sink creates a beautiful contrast against black cabinetry and instantly adds charm. Stone or fireclay sinks also work well, reinforcing that rustic, hardworking vibe. Pairing the sink with a bridge faucet or an oil-rubbed bronze fixture adds another layer of character. Open shelving is another element that works especially well in black rustic kitchens. Wooden shelves against black walls or cabinets create a striking contrast and offer a place to display everyday items. Rustic kitchens aren't about hiding everything away. They're about showing the tools of daily life, like ceramic dishes, glass jars, and wooden cutting boards. These items soften the look and make the kitchen feel lived in and welcoming. Floors are the foundation of the entire space, and in a black rustic kitchen, they carry a lot of visual weight. Wide plank wood floors are a classic choice that never feels wrong. The warmth of wood underfoot balances the darker tones above. Stone or brick floors add even more rustic charm, especially in older homes or farmhouse-style spaces. The key is choosing materials that feel natural and durable rather than polished and perfect. Appliances in black rustic kitchens usually take a supporting role. Stainless steel still works, especially when paired with black cabinetry and warm wood, but black or panel-ready appliances can blend in even more seamlessly. The idea is to keep the focus on materials and textures rather than shiny finishes. Rustic kitchens are about function, and appliances should feel like tools, not jewelry. Islands in black rustic kitchens often become the heart of the space. A black island with a thick wooden countertop feels substantial and inviting. It's the kind of surface that begs for bread dough, coffee mugs, and long conversations. Adding stools made from wood or metal keeps the island casual and functional, reinforcing the rustic feel. Rustic kitchens are meant to be used, and black doesn't change that. In fact, it often makes the kitchen feel more forgiving. Scratches, fingerprints, and everyday wear feel less precious in a space that's already leaning into character and texture. This is a kitchen where you cook real meals, not just pose for photos. Decor in a black rustic kitchen should feel thoughtful but unfussy. Vintage finds, handmade ceramics, woven baskets, and simple greenery all work beautifully. A few well-chosen pieces go much further than lots of small decorative items. Rustic style isn't about clutter, it's about warmth and authenticity. One of the most appealing things about black rustic kitchens is how adaptable they are. You can lean more farmhouse with shiplap, vintage accents, and traditional details, or push slightly more modern with cleaner lines and minimal decor. Black acts as a grounding neutral that supports both directions. It gives you flexibility without sacrificing character. Ceilings are often overlooked, but in rustic kitchens, they matter. Exposed beams, wood paneling, or even a slightly textured ceiling can add so much warmth. Against black cabinetry, these elements stand out beautifully and make the space feel taller and more open. Even painting the ceiling a soft off-white can help balance the darker elements below. A black rustic kitchen also tends to feel incredibly cozy in the evenings. When the lights are warm and low, the black elements recede slightly, and the textures come forward. The space feels intimate, like a place where people naturally gather. It's the kind of kitchen where dinners stretch longer and conversations linger. If you're worried about committing to black everywhere, there are plenty of ways to ease into it. Black lower cabinets with lighter uppers, a black island in an otherwise lighter kitchen, or even just black accents like lighting and hardware can introduce the look without overwhelming the space. Rustic design is forgiving, and it allows for experimentation. A black rustic kitchen isn't about following a trend. It's about creating a space that feels grounded, warm, and unapologetically real. It's a kitchen that embraces contrast, texture, and imperfection in the best possible way. Black brings depth and strength, while rustic elements bring soul. When done right, a black rustic kitchen doesn't feel dark or intimidating. It feels comforting, confident, and deeply inviting. It's a space that welcomes everyday life, messy cooking sessions, and quiet moments alike. And that's really what a great kitchen should be, no matter the color palette.